Welcome viewers to the Saturday, July 18 edition of 284 News. I am Britannia Whittle, bringing you the latest out of the British Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for joining us. Premier Dr. Natalia Wheatley says the Virgin Islands has an opportunity to achieve another milestone in its constitutional development as government proceeds with negotiations with the United Kingdom aimed at modernizing the territory's constitution.
The Premier believes the territory's progress will continue with a new constitution and that the BVI must continue to fight for further development. The government of the Virgin Islands is currently hosting the first round of formal constitutional negotiations with the government of the United Kingdom through Wednesday. Both parties will engage in discussions on possible revisions to the Virgin Islands Constitution Order 2007. The United Kingdom delegation comprises 4 officials led by Nicholas Wareham, head of delegation. Overseas Territories Directorate, Sarah Badeli, legal advisor, Overseas Territories Directorate, and Vaishali Patel, British Virgin Islands desk officer. Premier and Minister of Finance Dr. Natalia Wheatley is leading the Virgin Islands delegation. The Virgin Islands negotiating team is supported by Sir Geoffrey Jowell KC, a leading authority in public, constitutional, and administrative law. Premier Wheatley stated that previous constitutions have been markers of progress, and he expects the new constitution to continue that upward trajectory.
Of course, we're asking for more democratic accountability, giving persons the ability to hold their leaders accountable for things like the performance of the public service, things like internal security. We're asking for the ability to have another minister to be able to share the workload and to get more work done on behalf of the people. And there's so many other things that we're asking for. We're asking for Crown lands to be referred to as Virgin Islands lands. And to further emphasize the fact that these lands belong to the people of the Virgin Islands. So it's so many things that we're asking for that will result in benefits for people. I think persons should be engaged and excited.
Premier Wheatley argued that what is being sought in this constitutional negotiation would have a number of key benefits for persons.
We can have confidence and have assurance that if we have the ability to, we can take the Virgin Islands a lot farther than we've ever been, and that's something that has benefited my generation. The sacrifices of those who came before me benefited me. It allowed me to be in the position where I am today. I just imagine if Theodore Faulkner, Glennie Fonseca, Carlton de Castro didn't fight for us to have a legislature, where would the Virgin Islands be today? If we didn't fight for having our own Minister of Finance, where would we be? If Honorable Lavity Stout did not fight for us to have comprehensive education, where would the Virgin Islands be right now? And I believe that we have a responsibility to the next generation to fight for further advancement and further progress. That has been the Virgin Islands story, and we cannot become complacent, because it would be a very selfish act on behalf of future generations.
Discussions are expected to continue with the United Kingdom later this year, with the aim of concluding negotiations by the end of 2026 and preparing the agreed constitutional amendments for enactment in 2027. Jacques Wooding-Donovan, 284 News.
And in politics, Cindy Rosan has confirmed her bid to run in the next general election. Details in this report. Political commentator and media personality Cindy Rosan has announced that she will contest the upcoming general election as an independent at-large candidate. Rosan made the announcement on Thursday, emphasizing that her decision to enter the race is rooted in a desire to serve the people rather than to pursue personal ambition or political status.
I officially announce my candidacy to contest the next general election as an independent at-large candidate. I am not seeking office for recognition. I am not seeking titles. I am not seeking power. I am seeking the opportunity to serve, because leadership was never meant to elevate one individual. Leadership exists to elevate all people. Somewhere along the way, politics have convinced us that our differences are greater than our dreams. I refuse to believe that. I believe our greatest strength has always been our unity. I believe our diversity is one of our greatest gifts. And I believe that our future will only be secured when we recognize that we are greater than the sum of our individual ambitions.
She said her campaign will focus on public service and placing the interests of the community above self. However, she admits that government alone will not transform the Virgin Islands. Rosan stressed that her campaign will not be built on anger and division.
This campaign will not be powered by anger. It will not be powered by division. It will not be powered by fear. It will be powered by hope, by compassion, by honesty, and by service, by people who still believe that integrity matters, by people who believe politics can once again become an honorable calling. Today, I ask you not merely for your vote, I ask you for your faith that our future can be brighter, faith that decent leadership still matters, faith that unity is stronger than division, faith that together we can achieve more than any of us could ever accomplish alone. My fellow Virgin Islanders, belongers, and residents, history will one day ask what we did when our territory stood at a crossroads. Let it never be said that we chose division over unity.
Rosan, who is widely known for her work as a political commentator and media personality, now joins the field of candidates seeking at-large representation in the upcoming general election. Her decision to run as an independent candidate means she will contest the election without the backing of a political party. While Rosan has yet to release a detailed policy platform, her announcement signals an intention to offer voters an alternative to traditional party politics, centered on what she describes as servant leadership and accountability. Britannia Whittle, Tweet 4 News. To other news, Anegada could soon become a featured destination for cruise passengers under plans by the Cyril B. Romney Tortola Pier Park to introduce a seaplane service to the sister island, a move that officials say will also benefit residents while expanding tourism opportunities.
The announcement was made by Managing Director of the Cyril B. Romney Tortola Pier Park, Vance Lewis, during an interview on the BVI Port Authority's Portside Conversations hosted by Alicia Green. Lewis said they are looking to expand the cruise footprint by bringing Anegada into the market.
Anegada has not been into play with cruise passengers because of the way it is, how far it is. But one of the things we've baked into our strat plan is to have a seaplane land at the pier park, take cruise passengers and locals alike across to Anegada multiple times a day, and so you can do a tour of Anegada. Cruise passengers, we know, we've learned historically, do not like to take trips more than 15-20 minutes. But seaplane going to Anegada is going to be 15-20 minutes. Same way, yes. If you're in Alaska, you could land on a glacier.
Yes.
You can go to Anegada, you can land, and that will help Anegada to get developed, help the tourism product to get developed as well. And that brings Anegada into play in terms of making sure you encourage local entrepreneurship.
Lewis explained that they are also looking at using the vacant lot as a means of facilitating home porting.
So home porting is where you can start a cruise and end a cruise. At the moment, our port doesn't initiate or end a cruise. But through home porting, we can actually start a cruise, say, on a Sunday and end the cruise on a Saturday. And if we were able, on that vacant lot, to put, let's say, a hotel or a multifaceted thing, you'll have more hotel rooms, say, on the top. You can have meeting rooms, say, and you can have establishments on the ground floor. Then we can expand the park while doing all of this. But more importantly, by doing home porting, we also create new streams of opportunities for locals, because there will be opportunities, for instance, to do provisioning.
Yes.
There will be opportunities to deal with waste from the ship. There will be opportunities to deal with powering the ships.
You do with the yacht.
Exactly.
Yes.
Jacko Whitting-Donovan, 284 News.
And with that, we take a quick break. Please stay with us.
Across the Virgin Islands, drivers have trusted VI Motors for generations. For 60 years, we've delivered dependable transportation, expert repairs, and quality parts, all under one roof. As a proud Napa franchise, our parts department carries leading brands like PPG Paints, Magic Accessories, Top Don Diagnostics Tools, Westlake and Goodyear Tires, plus reliable LTH batteries. Everything your vehicle needs to perform at its best. Our expert service department handles maintenance, diagnostics, and repairs you can rely on. And our vehicle sales team offers trusted Toyota and Honda vehicles built for island life. We proudly serve you at 2 locations, our flagship store in Dove's Bottom, Tortola, and our location on Virgin Gorda. From parts to service to sales, we're committed to you every step of the way. VI Motors, service beyond the call, serving the Virgin Islands for 60 years.
Hey girl, you hear about that deal with that bundles?
Yeah, but everybody gatekeeping where I could get the good stuff.
And I really need, cause my stylist
Put me onto a website here, and the inches is not inching, and the bundles, oh my, you're not even bundling. Like, I don't even know what's up.
stylist. Me talking about hair?
What?
Are you deaf? Girl, I see me talking about hair.
What are you talking about? I confused.
Save up to $1,000 when you bundle your mobile, fiber, or broadband services. Bundle all 3 and receive a free MiFi device on us. That's what's up when you bundle up with CCT. Life Unlimited.
Welcome back. Roadtown Wholesale Trading Limited has completed the Caribbean's largest rooftop solar installation, marking a major milestone in the British Virgin Islands' renewable energy efforts. More in this report. Roadtown Wholesale Trading Limited (RTW) has officially completed what it says is the Caribbean's largest rooftop solar installation. The project was unveiled during a press conference on July 9th at the RTW Support Center in Roadtown, where company officials, government representatives, project partners gathered to celebrate the completion of the $1.9 million investment. Developed in partnership with the British Virgin Islands Electricity Corporation, BVIEC, and renewable energy company UrEco, the 1 megawatt rooftop solar system is expected to generate enough electricity to meet approximately 30% of the annual energy needs of RTW's Paseo facility. According to RTW, the installation will reduce the company's dependence on electricity generated from imported fossil fuels while improving long-term energy resilience and supporting the territory's transition towards cleaner energy. Speaking during the ceremony, Managing Director of RTW, Jackie McDonough, said the installation represents an investment in a more sustainable future for the British Virgin Islands.
We've set the bar, and the fact that there's new projects going on now in the British Virgin Islands with the Pier Park and Nanny and all those exciting things, it's amazing that we have been a catalyst for those things to happen. And that's what we are. We're all human beings, and we all want to do the right thing, not just for economic social governance, as they call it nowadays, which is a very fancy word for, sustainability, etc. But we are doing the right thing for the people and the planet.
Minister for Communications and Works Kai Ramos says the project aligns with the future of the Virgin Islands as it strives to become more dependent on renewable energy in light of climate change and the effect of natural disasters.
So renewable energy offers us a different path. It offers greater energy independence, greater resilience, and long-term environmental and economic benefits. Energy independence is a strategic goal that will allow us to trade in carbon credits probably and facilitate our medium to long-term goal of lower energy costs that would facilitate economic growth in our territory. With the Virgin Islands Climate Change Trust Fund, we intend to not only promote more cost-effective energy production, but also intend to use this focus on renewable energy, the production, to transform the Virgin Islands into a greener, cleaner island nation.
BVIEC General Manager Dr. Neil Smith stressed that the project was 100% RTW funded. He says the BVIEC's role was to make sure everything was properly done to maintain the system. Meanwhile, CEO and co-founder of UECO, Nick Spencer, shared that the maintenance should be minimum once properly installed.
And actually, from a maintenance perspective, maintenance, if a system's installed correctly, should be very minimal. They're sort of a very simple mechanical systems and electrical systems that actually should, once installed correctly, really run themselves. There's annual checks and servicing, but actually what we don't really want to do is create systems that need a huge amount of maintaining. We want systems that are almost forgotten about, that are sitting on the roof and are using what was previously a latent asset and creating an opportunity by fulfilling that potential of something that actually is installed and doing what it says it's going to do thereafter.
The project also aligns with the environmental, social, and governance ESG strategy of the Northwest Company NWC, RTW's major owner, by advancing investments aimed at creating environmental and community benefits. Britannia Witter, 284 News. To other news, the Virgin Islands cultural icons, pioneers, and nation builders took center stage during the 3rd annual VI Icon Awards, an evening filled with celebration, recognition, and emotional tributes to those who have shaped the territory.
The awards ceremony featured honors across several competitive categories, while also recognizing a number of distinguished individuals as Virgin Islands legends for their lifelong contributions to the territory. Executive producer Kareem Nelson Hull said the vision behind the awards is to ensure that outstanding Virgin Islanders receive recognition while they are still alive to appreciate it. He said some of the evening's most memorable moments came as honorees and their families reflected on decades of service and achievement.
Like when Dr. Charles Wheatley received his award for lifetime achievement from BP Bank, and when he was giving his delivery speech, he was overcome with emotion, and we really, at that moment, recognized, this is the reason why we do it, to make sure people that they're supported, celebrated, and they're treasured. One of the most special moments for me in seeing people receive their awards was the category by Republic Bank for education and youth development. When you saw people like Vanetta Matavius, you saw Daisy Simmons, Carol O'Neill Alexander, Dr. Orma Vanderpool from Anegada. When you saw those people take their time, Gracia Stevens, to come from their homes, travel to Tortola for a show like this, just for their acknowledgement, and the way how the audience responded to their names actually validates that they are literally the people that we will look up to in our communities, and it's the time that we should continue to honor them. So that was very special. But then there are other people that really made me smile when I saw that they were being celebrated and supported, like when Jason Mad Fonseca, who created Mad News years ago, and sometimes we think of it as just a funny thing that we had a tabloid in the Virgin Islands, but it was really impactful to the culture of that time, and those things were great. The 2009 basketball team that received their award last night for winning the silver medal in 2009, and those who remember that game when they played in the Virgin Islands remember how much territorial pride that actually created. So last night there was a real mix of the old and new. We saw Swami Campbell go up and receive the award for Graphic Designer of the Year. We saw Stacey Bob win the award for Makeup Artist of the Year. We saw Westmore Smith, who we know is really concerned in giving people, win the award for Humanitarian of the Year. Alton Doherty wins for Man of the Year. And these are all categories that were voted on by the public and had some involvement from public. So we're really happy to see that their voices were heard and that the legends and icons were in alignment to our goal, which is to give people their celebration flowers while they're alive.
Hull also praised the team behind the production, noting that this year's show exceeded expectations. He reveals that a team of 16 producers worked together on the event, which has continued to grow since its inception. Hull also confirmed that while the awards will not continue to be held annually, the Virgin Islands Icon Awards will return in 2028.
Every single producer has a job and a job description for what they have to do. And when you saw the sea, the trees, and everything outside, it may be something that we're talking about in a meeting, but there's one producer who's responsible for that landing experience and what the red carpet looks like, and that is Nikita Turnbull. So we have an idea together, we work on the ordering, but putting it together and making it come to life is in the hands of a producer. When you go to the back room and you're receiving your gifts, that's one producer. The way that you're seating is one producer. The things that you eat is one producer. The backroom experience, people on stage, the dressing and the wardrobe, every single producer of the Virgin Islands Icon Award is responsible for bringing it alive, and that's how we do it. Everyone is responsible. Everyone loves what they do. Everyone understands why the reason we're doing this is to celebrate the Virgin Islands, and that's the fuel that gives us the kind of passion that we have to deliver a production like what we did on Saturday night. Well, what we've decided, we've always had a plan that the Icon Award was going to be consistent for 3 years, just to establish it in people's minds. Then we also were looking forward to having it every other year. We've established it, you know it's coming. Then we give you a break so you can start to keep working hard at what you do, building up your portfolio, building up all the things that you do, and then we return 1 year after. So the next year, once we have to go to a vote and all that, it's not scheduled to be an Icon Award, but we intend to return the next year, and then it happens every other year after that.
The VI Icon Awards were created to celebrate the accomplishments of Virgin Islanders who have made lasting contributions in fields across business, culture, sports, education, public service, entertainment, and community development, while inspiring future generations through their legacy. Jacques Wooding-Donovan, 284 News.
We're up on a short break. Please stay with us.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Across the Virgin Islands, drivers have trusted VI Motors for generations. For 60 years, we've delivered dependable transportation, expert repairs, and quality parts, all under one roof. As a proud Napa franchise, our parts department carries leading brands like PPG Paints, Magic Accessories, Top Down Diagnostics Tools, Westlake and Goodyear Tires, plus reliable LTH batteries. Everything your vehicle needs to perform at its best. Our expert service department handles maintenance, diagnostics, and repairs you can rely on. And our vehicle sales team offers trusted Toyota and Honda vehicles built for island life. We proudly serve you at 2 locations, our flagship store in Dove's Bottom, Tortola, and our location on Virgin Gorda. From parts to service to sales, we're committed to you every step of the way. VI Motors, service beyond the call, serving the Virgin Islands for 60 years.
Welcome back. And in regional news, the CARICOM Reparations Commission was in the United Kingdom for the second time as it continues its campaign for reparatory justice. As the first round of constitutional negotiations between the Virgin Islands and the United Kingdom gets underway, the CARICOM Reparations Commission, CRC, is on its second visit to the UK to advance its campaign for reparatory justice while strengthening partnerships aimed at promoting public education and civil society engagement. Speaking during a media briefing on Tuesday, Chairman of the CARICOM Reparations Commission, Sir Hilary Beckles, said the Caribbean continues to grapple with the enduring effects of colonialization, identifying the Virgin Islands as a clear example of a territory still navigating its colonial relationship.
And I think our colleagues were quite right in this revised 10-point plan to say that a critical agenda item is to end the colonization of the Caribbean. We cannot abide with the fact that maybe 20% of our population in the Caribbean are still living in colonies. We object to the fact that when we leave our independent islands and we arrive in Martinique, there's a sign at the airport that says, "Welcome to France." We object to the fact that in the Virgin Islands, our people cannot make fundamental decisions because they have to consult with the British governor and consult with Downing Street to make decisions about education, health. We object to that kind of colonization. And it's at the center of the Caribbean world, and we want to have it uprooted as part of the enlightenment that we're calling for. Democracy, freedom, sovereignty for everyone.
According to Beckles, the Commission has already commenced discussions with two governments as part of its broader reparations and decolonization advocacy. However, he noted that those engagements remain in their early stages. The Commission's UK mission is expected to continue with engagements designed to build public awareness, foster dialogue with stakeholders, and strengthen partnerships that support the regional reparations movement. Britannia Whittle, 284 News. And in sports, the Virgin Islands national squash team delivered a strong performance at the 2026 National Squash Championships, receiving 3 gold medals and 1 bronze. Details in this report. The Virgin Islands national squash team delivered a strong performance at the 2026 National Squash Championships, receiving 3 golds and 1 bronze. Among the standout performances was Danny Henderson, who captured the gold medal in the under-19 division. Speaking with VI Sports and Culture after the championships, Henderson said he was proud of his achievement but remains focused on improving his execution ahead of the upcoming Central American and Caribbean CAC Games in Dominican Republic.
I've been working a lot on playing faster, hitting the ball nice and controlled, and that's what I was trying here, just trying to play faster than my opponent, because I know that when I go to the CAC games, everyone's going to be super fast, super strong, and I just got to be able to match them.
Meanwhile, national coach Adam Murrells praised the team's overall performance, saying he was pleased with both the athletes' commitment and the results they produced throughout the championships.
This is a historic day for BVI squash. Most medals we've ever won in a day, in a championships. We managed to win 3 gold medals 2 years ago. We've topped that this year. Both those championships were at home, so I guess that means we're going to have to keep holding it here in the BVI. But yeah, 3 golds. Leela Miller got a bronze medal, so she's in the under 11s. Delilah Pease won the under 15s as an 11-year-old, very impressive. Jacob Noblet Diaz won the under 15s in a really tight match, and then Danny closed now there winning the under 19s. Super impressive, because in his first ever CASA, just for all our kids in the BVI, he lost every single match at his first ever CASA. He's got stronger every single year, and he's leaving the competition now as undoubtedly the strongest in the Caribbean. So exciting times for him, and big congrats.
That's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284media BVI on Instagram and X. I'm Britannia Whittle. Pleasant viewing.